Hi, it's Dad, and this is the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Once, long ago, in the country of England, there lived a boy named Jack. He lived with his mother in a little farmhouse. One day, Jack's mother said, "Jack, we have no more food, and our cow has stopped making milk. You must take our cow to the village and sell her. Use that money to buy food at the market, or we will have nothing for dinner tonight." So Jack took the cow and started down the road into the village. He hadn't gone very far when he came upon a man whom he had never met before. "Where are you going with your cow, young Jack?" asked the man. "I'm taking her to the village to sell her," answered Jack, wondering how the man knew his name. "You are in luck, young Jack," said the stranger. "I have something better than money. If you give me your cow, I will give you these very special magic beans." "Wow! Magic beans!" exclaimed Jack. So he gave his cow to the stranger in exchange for the magic beans. Jack ran home and proudly told his mother what he had done. "What?" she cried. "You traded our only cow for some beans? You were tricked! Now we'll have no food for dinner tonight." She was so mad she threw the beans out the window. And Jack had to go to bed without dinner. He was sad. The next morning, Jack awoke to see something strange outside his window. A beanstalk had grown up overnight, right where his mother had thrown the beans. And not just any beanstalk. This beanstalk was so tall that Jack could not even see the top. "They really were magic beans," Jack said. "I wonder how high up the beanstalk goes." And so with that, Jack started climbing the beanstalk. Jack climbed and climbed and climbed. He climbed so high that the birds flew by. Jack climbed right through the top of the clouds and couldn't believe his eyes. He saw an enormous castle sitting in the clouds. "I wonder who lives there," thought Jack. When Jack got to the castle, the front doors were so big he couldn't even reach the door handles. But he was able to squeeze under the gap in the door. Inside, he saw very large furniture, a giant throne, a huge fireplace, and a goose in a golden cage. Suddenly, Jack heard a loud noise. Thump, thump, thump. It was so loud that the castle shook. Jack decided to hide under the table. He peeked out just in time to see a giant walking into the castle. The giant was so big that every step he took shook the very stones of the castle. Thump, thump, thump. The giant walked over to the cage that held the pretty goose. He threw the cage door open and snatched up the goose by the neck. Jack decided then and there to rescue the poor goose from the giant. Just then the giant roared, Fee, fi, fo, fooey. A golden egg from you, or I'll have goose stewy. The goose let out a squawk and laid a shining golden egg. Amazing, thought Jack. The giant snatched up the egg and laughed. Then, as the giant was reaching for the goose, he stopped and sniffed the air. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Yuck, thought Jack. I better escape with the goose. Jack stayed hidden and watched as the giant sniffed the air again, trying to pinpoint the distinctive smell. The giant looked under his throne, in the vase, and behind his couch. I'll find you, Englishman, roared the giant. When the giant turned to look inside the fireplace, Jack saw his chance. Jack ran and grabbed the goose and headed for the door. Just as Jack squeezed under the door with the goose, the giant spun around and saw him. Fee, fi, fo, fum, yelled the giant as he started after Jack. Jack dashed for the beanstalk with the goose under one arm. Jack climbed down the beanstalk as fast as he could. The giant lumbered in angry pursuit. Give me back my golden goose, he roared. Jack climbed down out of the clouds and past the birds. The giant was coming down after him. As Jack neared his little farmhouse below, he cried out, Mother, my axe, hurry! On the ground, Jack handed his mother the goose as he grabbed his axe. Jack started chopping at the beanstalk as the giant was getting closer and closer. With the last of his strength, Jack swung the axe, and with a mighty whack, the beanstalk started to fall with the giant still holding on. The giant fell to the earth with a loud boom. He fell so hard that he cracked a hole in the earth and fell deep into the dark, never to be seen again. Jack told his mother about the great adventure, and the goose was so happy to be free from the mean giant that she stayed with Jack and his mother at the farmhouse. She laid many golden eggs for Jack, and Jack sold them at the market for money. He used the money to buy food, and his mother and he were never hungry again. The end. And that's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Bye!